name is Courtney, and I'm going to be giving you my informative speech today. But before I do, this is our audience: our softball manager TK, assistant manager Coach Jones, and our head coach Leslie Dean. Okay, and my speech today is going to be over the effects of divorce on kids. Okay. As an 8-year-old child, you don't really know how to respond when your mom packs up you and your sisters and takes you to grandma's house and can't really explain to you why daddy has to stay at home. According to a 2016 study on the statistics of children of divorce in America by Wayne Parker, approximately 50 children a year will either witness a divorce once in their life or witness some kind of marital breakup. That means that at least probably 2 of us in this room have already experienced or will experience a divorce at one point in their life. I myself am a victim of not only 1 divorce but also 2, because my dad has been divorced twice. And so that is why today I will be talking to you about the lifelong effects that divorce has on children. My main points today are going to be the psychological effects that divorce has on children, and also the effects that it has on their behavior and their outlook on life. Some of the psychological effects that divorce has on children can be really detrimental to their life and how it transforms them and it hits them at an early age. Some of the main psychological effects that children have that suffer from divorce usually starts first with the battle of the actual divorce. According to the study of psychological effect on the divorce of children by Michael Shafran, stress is usually the main cause that children suffer from a divorce, and it usually leads to anxiety and depression, and usually causes them to blame themselves and ask themselves questions like, is it my fault that my parents are getting divorced? Is something wrong with me? And I know people like this in my certain situations, so I know a few people that are actually blaming themselves for their parents' divorce, which is not the case, and it's not their fault at all. And if you know somebody in this situation, then just please try to get them help and help them realize that it's not their fault that their parents are getting a divorce and that they really can't do anything about it. But the good news is divorce isn't always a bad thing, and it can actually be beneficial in some cases. Like, say if one of the parties is being exposed to violence or emotional abuse, it's pretty obvious that you need to get out of the situation, and that whenever the kids are actually extracted from that situation, it can be beneficial to them in a lot of ways and actually help them feel like they're being thrived in life. Like my parents, for example, I feel like if they were still in the position that they were, then their marriage would just be a train wreck, and I'm just very thankful that my mom got us out of that situation. Once the psychological effects of divorce start to take place on children, the behavioral issues usually start to occur after that and usually flourish in the children. Attention and behavioral problems are usually the main cause of stress on children and can be very destructive as the divorce goes on. A study called The Children of Divorce by the Medical Branch of Family Medicine showed that usually it starts out with aggressive behavior, with them acting out in school, and they'll usually start bullying people, and then they should just start getting out of hand. And then another behavioral effect is they have low academic achievement, and they usually do this due to like the acting out in school, and they just feel like that since they don't have both parents, then they feel like they can just act out and they won't get in trouble because they don't have the correct discipline at home. Another behavioral issue is stealing, lying, and manipulation. This usually happens, like, it starts with white lies and then it progresses into bigger lies and about like where they're going, what they're doing. And it's just a bad situation. And then they feel like they have to lie and steal because people can't be trusted, because their parents are supposed to be there for them and be the only ones trusted in their lives, and they're not there anymore. So they feel like they can like manipulate the people that they love to make themselves feel better. Also, the study shows that they have an earlier exposure to sex, drugs, and alcohol. And they usually do that just to find comfort in something and to take the pain away, and that's not the way that they should be handling it. And another behavioral factor is they usually end up having attachment issues, and they feel like they've never really been loved like in the correct way, and they usually feel like they look for love in the wrong places because they've never seen a functional relationship, and then they usually just start to have trust issues with everyone that they know. The effect that divorce has on children are usually more negative than it is positive. However, Just because you have a broken family does not mean that you have to let it break your spirit and how you have an outlook on life. Today I talked about the psychological factors and behavioral effects that divorce has on children and how it can hinder them as they grow up in life and how they develop. The last words I want to leave with you today are, if you're a victim of divorce, please just know that your actions do not define you and your parents' actions don't define you, and don't let it discourage your purpose in life. Overcome the brokenness with adversity and work hard to be a product of in a negative situation, and please make sure your children are not a statistic of divorce just like we were. Thank you. I hate talking.